Hey everyone, welcome back to another Tuesday tip where in this video we're going to be talking about some BMX spare parts and tools that can save the day whenever you're out and about riding your bike. This idea came from someone named Kevin Mora a few months ago. So Kevin, if you're out there or you're seeing this, thank you for the idea, and let's just jump right on into this one. So I'm going to start with what I feel are the most obvious spare parts on this list, and that is a tube or some patches for your tube. It's no question that a popped tube can completely ruin your riding day, and the name of the game here is to keep the riding session going. So spare tube, spare patches for your tube, as well as the tools to take your rim off or to get your tire off of your rim in order to patch it, can definitely save the day. So with these two options comes a few things that might not be immediately obvious that I probably should cover here, in that if you're going to carry around a spare tube, you're also going to need something to take off your entire rim from your frame, because you're going to need to get that old one off as well as get the new one in there, and you're also going to need something to get your tire off of your rim, because you got to get that old one out to get the new one in. If you're just going to use a patch kit, then maybe you only need something to get your tire off, because you don't have to take the rim completely off of the bike. But the gamble here is that sometimes you get a flat that cannot be fixed with a patch. You may end up having to replace the tube anyways. And then the real kicker here is that if you're going to replace the tube or patch it, you're going to need a way to pump it up as well. So you're going to need some kind of pump. And that's all well and good for if you're just driving from spot to spot or you're driving to the skate park, but if you're just riding around, you may need a smaller pump as well, which Park Tool does offer. And with this being a list of spare parts and tools, and already having brought up the bike pump, I've got to give it another shout out, because having a bike pump in my car has not only saved the day for me, but also a ton of other people throughout the years of keeping a pump in my car. Far before I ever worked with Park Tool, I always kept a pump in my car, and now I've got this legit bike pump to keep in my car for any time somebody needs it. And if you have one as well, doesn't matter what kind it is, but preferably Park Tool, you're going to no doubt save the day for a lot of people, whether it's at the skate park or the street spot where you're driving, especially in the streets, because that's where a lot of flats go down. Next up on the list is something that I feel a lot of us who have ridden BMX for an extended period of time will be able to relate to, in the bag of random miscellaneous small parts. There's a lot of random things in here, from chain links to little washers to barrel adjusters or headset spacers, that have absolutely saved the day and kept sessions going when they otherwise wouldn't have for me throughout the years, as well as for other people. Anyone who might need some small part that I could randomly have in this bag that I keep on me could benefit from it and keep their session going, and that is the name of the game here. We want to keep the session going not only for ourselves, but for others whenever they need it. And there's a lot of stuff in here, so let's pour it out on the table here and give you guys a look at what's in this random miscellaneous small parts bag. So, right off the top, we've got top secret brake stuff, we've got a brake pad, spare brake pad, the headset spacer that we talked about earlier, a barrel adjuster. We've actually got a cable guide for the Sunday frame. We've got this adapter for a chain breaker for the hollow pin Odyssey keychain, as well as a couple chain links for it. In this bag, we've got a random integrated headset and a couple bearings there, kept in the bag because clearly they're greasy. Some more barrel adjusters, a NARP. Brake riders will definitely relate to this bag. We've got a spacer for a brake pad, because these do actually come in handy, a spoke nipple, another spoke nipple, the inside part of a chain, and then a whole bunch more in here. We've got random washers, a gyro tab, just all kinds of stuff, a random Odyssey ghost pad, and more in this bag. So as you could see, there was quite a lot of random stuff in that bag, and every single thing in there has a purpose. Probably because in the past I needed something and didn't have it, and it ended my session when it otherwise wouldn't have if I would have had an extra. So I keep these things on me now, and also there have just been countless times where I've needed these things after the fact, and I've had them and it kept the session going, as well as for other people. Other people have needed these random small pieces and parts, and if I happen to have them and be able to keep their session going, it feels good for me, it feels good for them, it keeps the session going, everyone gets to keep having fun. And on that note, another thing that I keep on me at all times, and as fellow brake riders out there will understand, we need to keep brake cables on us, because breaking a cable as a brake rider, it doesn't have to end your day. You can ride brakeless, but it's just not quite as fun whenever you're a through and through brake rider and you don't have brakes, but it's not by choice. So I always keep brake cables on me for whenever brake cables snap, because they inevitably do. And I'm sure that a lot of you out there understand that. And that brings me to the extra parts and things that I don't keep directly in my bag, but I sometimes do have on me. I like to keep certain things like pedals or bottom bracket bearings or other things like that in my car, just in case, for situations just like I've been explaining throughout this entire video. And basically what I would suggest to anyone else is to keep anything that you're comfortable with in your car. So whenever you're growing up riding, for all you young guys out there who are beginners, keep these extra little pieces and parts whenever you're putting your bikes together and you've got extra things on the side. Throw them in a bag, keep them in your bag on you, because you never know when you're gonna need them. And when you start driving, or if you already drive, consider keeping your extra little small parts with you just in case you need them when you're out and about, or if you find yourself an hour away and you break something, you never know when you might need it. So whatever you might be comfortable with, there have been so many times where things have saved the day. I used to keep cranks with me in my car, and there was a day at a trail jam where somebody broke a set of cranks and ended up buying my spare cranks just because I had them so they could keep their session going. So with that being said, let me know what you guys keep in your bags or in your vehicles to keep your sessions going. Do you keep a small parts bag like this one on you just in case? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, if you're new or you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button so that hopefully we can see you tomorrow for another video. I want to thank you guys all for watching, and like we said, see you tomorrow.